Yo.
Yes, sir. What's up, guys?
Yes. This DJ will kick the floor in 3, 2, 1.
On the troll. On the troll.
All right, definitely we are within Spaghetti inside, and do so with your like button. We are here to deliberate. You know, I don't want to call people's name.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay.
Before we start, before we go to Senzo's case that is currently happening, that Image is going to update us on. But I'm going to keep on hammering until we understand how things are happening in the country. Also, maybe to highlight the power that some people have over us, you know. And I'm saying this because just looking at what Mkhunu has said in most of the things that he was talking about, he talks about a lot of things, obviously, and he's explaining a lot of things. But what caught my eye and what I had, and I was so surprised, and rightfully so, he portrays himself to me like someone who listens to people. But I think that angle got in just because he had to explain some of the reason why he had to disbar. He has to disband the political killing task team. Mm-hmm. Then he mentions that there were people that were also talking.
Yes, writing him letters
and stuff. And I can't help it but feel like perhaps this is like, look, I'm trying to put it in a way that it's not going to get us into trouble.
Okay. Think about it. Take your time.
Here is this person who jumps first when Mkhwanazi makes that press conf that he did. He started naming Mkhwanazi, giving him names such as he's a criminal and whatnot. Look at the order of how the media moves. From that person, the media moves to Prejudice. Now, I'm just going to ask you this question. What is the importance of Prejudice? Because I heard Senzo saying Prejudice sort of oversee what the SAPS are doing in case that that's an explanation in a sense. Isn't she was portrayed to us as a professor, researcher, doing something,
yes.
And that's it. Doing my research does not necessarily mean that I'm involved then with the police. If I do the research on that thing, or I'm doing research on criminals and whatever that is happening in syndicates of South Africa, it does not mean or give me power
to call for
disbandment
of anything in the police.
To me, Mkhunu is sounding like, part of the reason. But I just want to create... So here's the first person, a first male, that starts making noise and starts throwing shade. And I've told you about the common factors in this. They are all saying it's almost similar thing. And then comes this one, and then comes the other one that they talked about. And then there was around that time also some parliamentary members. But the power to such an extent that you'd go on to do such a thing and say, I want to dissolve this political killings team. PKTT, yeah?
PKTT.
Yeah. So, does it make sense to you?
It never has and it never will. I heard a little bit of some of the clips of him trying to justify even went as far as to say it's not fair that they're only focusing on political killings in
It's
in
because they
KZN.
were mainly
It should be-
focusing.
It should be national.
And that's an explanation of being
All of a sudden, South African citizens
they
matter.
matter more. and this is where I have a problem with, in my opinion, with people who are using us.
Ah,
You know,
yes.
people use us and we
Yes.
haven't opened our mouth.
Yes.
All we are doing is to listen as people. But one
And
person
not
can
judge.
tend to people, two people who are just. I mean, what is the citizenship of Meride Haas?
I don't know.
Is she born here in South Africa? Because that's
The rumors are she's not. Those are the rumors.
it's rumors. But
I haven't
honestly speaking, why
confirmed
are
or
people
denied.
coming from other places to worry about our SAPS?
Not only worry, but interfere.
I'm not gonna say interfere because that's a big name.
But
That's
that's
a big word.
interfering. Writing letters and calling for a disbandment of something. You're putting your hand in the cookie jar.
You can't put it like that.
Okay, I withdraw, okay, Mr. Non.
I'm saying you can put it like that. I'm just worried about how things are going. And when I started this thing long time ago, and I've been following it, and I know it takes time to actually sink in. And I want you to understand how this thing goes. It starts there with people who have monies and all that. And then there are these ground soldiers who have commanders. And then it filters up until down. I don't understand for the life of me. And I've been saying, you cannot speak the same thing. Even if you get along that much, but all of you singing one thing. And the first attack was common. And then you have a situation of someone, as I was talking yesterday, now who's saying, no, I want to come and be a friend of God. It just confuses me. When I try to understand, it just confuses me. Everything now just confuses me.
Everybody's confused now. Everything is confusing. I don't know.
So, there is power in money. There is power in money. You can do anything and you can buy anything. There is power in money. That's all I can say. You know, people, and when people are hungry, people can do anything.
I'm seeing this with the whole unravelings. Madlanga Commission provided as well. You know, there's a lot of people that people were listening to and taking seriously, only to find out that they were vessels.
And you know what is painful is that you can see these people from far, like almost I could smell.
You did. I had difficulty.
When Mkunu is asked about some of these people having information from the intelligence,
Yes.
he is brushing it off.
Why
in
is
my
he brushing
opinion,
it off?
he's
It's
like,
a
these are just
security
people. These are just people. These are just people. What makes you go and say, you know? He says, I asked the intelligence to profile a certain person because the information he had, it was in a form of intelligence. You know, that's the reason for us. But when he's probed on that by the presiding commissioner.
Is it the ad hoc?
Yeah.
Not the commission, the chair.
Chairperson, yes. he then brushes this thing off. Like it's like, oh, it's okay. I mean, this person normally sends now and then, right now and then. You know, you listen to these things, you're like, but this guy, he's saying something but not saying much.
Anything.
And then that begs a question. And my question would be, why is it difficult to pronounce that certain people have intelligence information that they shouldn't have? Certain civilians. Why is it difficult to do that? Why won't you just say it? Now, I hope now my circle is now making sense. Starting from how it goes, the noise that was made, and who is who in the zoo. If you are joining the dots, it becomes a bit clearer who's who in the zoo.
Yeah, Bona, I don't give Mr. Anonymous enough credit. He has been seeing this long before I think I could. I was just like, oh my god, this guy, oh my god, this guy. But Mr. Anonymous has always said, something is not right.
Something is not right.
Stop.
And I
Something
did.
is not right.
And
you know how much one would say content I could have done, I had lost and I had to let it go because Mr. Anonymous was like, wait.
It doesn't make sense. When
Wait.
it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
And I'm like, oh, my people want to know. My people want to know about this tea. And he's like, no. Something is not right. Cutting it off. 2025.
So
2025 July. And it's now I'm grateful that
So
I
I-
listened.
I don't know.
Cause ngabe ngisenkingeni nami ngabe ama SMS ayafundwa lapha ya ama WhatsApp.
I don't know really. Why people find it that hard to actually put two and two together.
It's difficult because you know what we do? We have the Messiah complex. Once we put someone at a pedestal, we make them they can never lie. Because they told one truth, everything after is the truth. Everything after is a fact. Everything, they can never lie. They can, and that's where we lose it, because once we start doing that, they have us, and with them having us, they can do whatever they want. They can spin whatever narrative that they see fit. And because they got our buy-in and we are encouraging them and we're like, oh, yes, yes, yes.
So you see where the media fits in now. They start calling people that they don't often call.
Yes.
And they keep on calling these people, giving them slots.
Yes.
Now and then, giving them slots. That's how information is peddled.
Yeah. It's changing.
Emily accepted the bag. Emily had a bag that had money,
That's the shamanic.
and he was given money.
Yes.
Emily is a criminal. Then they get someone who's gonna say that. Emily is a criminal. They pretend as if they are asking this person questions.
Yes.
But it puts on record in your brain. That's where the record sits, in your
Yes.
brain. This person is a criminal.
Yes.
This person is
It's
a criminal.
corrupt.
Is corrupt. This person is corruptible. And that person becomes that. And if you tell me that for all these years we've been seeing these things happening, and we are now seeing them live happening,
Yes.
and now we get to understand what are these things. But I'm telling you, for many, it is still difficult to fathom that this is the process. Whether it's happening on YouTube, whether it's happening on now social media or it's happening on TikTok, even on TikTok,
Yes.
you know. And then you start watching, you know, I was watching comments as the minister was testifying, you know, they start changing the complexion. Hey, this man is explaining, this man is dealing with issues. You know, you like, but I'm listening to the very same thing and I don't understand the hell. Not that I don't understand.
I did not hear
feel
him.
like most of the questions are not answered.
He doesn't answer questions.
Even the people who were sitting there at some point said that.
He will go here and there.
And then he starts
open
giving
3
1 hour
pages.
answer.
No.
And where did we see that? We've seen that in Senzo's case.
With other witnesses, yes.
With a certain witness, I don't want to say, but we've seen that. Please point your mic to you. Yeah,
Oh, yes.
we've seen that. It happens. So I just worry about how things are getting, you know. I worry how things are getting and how positive. But people change. People do change because of circumstances.
Yes.
It allows them to change. But my worry is that even if you change, let's say you adopted a certain thing that you see happening around you through your friend, and I say, I want to also become this person and do things like that and maybe break the stories. I'm making an example. Have you done proper research as to say, when you are breaking the stories, sometimes you step on people's foot. What keeps you alive? What keeps you safe? Those are the questions that you need to ask. And then you get to understand whether you should be doing that or not. That's why most of the time when I get what people call a scoop or whatever that they want to bring, I look at it, I walk and chill and think about it and see who is this thing actually touching. It's very important to ask yourself that when receiving information. Okay, I see it's a very nice story. Let's say it's credible story. Actually, I've been thinking about this thing is actually happening, but who is it touching? And how is that person going to react?
Yes.
And why are you not the person doing it? Why do you want me to do it?
Me to do it? Why can't you do it yourself?
Because you are creating many minions around to push this narrative, and this narrative becomes the truth of the order. That's basically how I've been looking at this. You get to see a lot of things. You're like, You know, people can literally say, no, I don't know so and so.
Thank you. That's all I would
Bengaphika
like
abantu
to
Emil
say.
better ayabakwazi. Asikwazi. Until someone comes and say, by the way, I've seen so and so entering a gate 10 times.
Then ungenile endabeni. You are within. The
Yeah,
ball is in your hands.
But also, backyard mechanic, have you also looked at the side of technology? Because sometimes, you know, we blame people. But there's also technology. You know, technology can spam and create this environment of the comments. Now, people can spam me here and come with like negative comments, but find that it is engineered by one person.
I remember you showing me this other thing, this other program where you could get. What were you doing?
Oh, it's Python. I was using
And
Python.
you were views. You were
I was increasing views. Yes,
on YouTube. You were
Yes.
sure.
but I didn't do
Guys,
it to this channel.
I'm freaked
Don't
out.
worry, I
I'm
didn't do
freaked
it
out
to
of
this channel.
what technology can do. Oh my God, we are living in scary times. You know, some people you see
It's-
the numbers are high and you're like, oh my God, this person must be good. The person's content is really good. And then when you open, you're not feeling.
It takes only 3 lines to put that command, and then it
You're not
starts doing
feeling.
that thing. Then you put a loop, and then it becomes many
You're
things.
like, I see this person is getting these views, but how?
No, it's a norm, and you can do it even yourself. You don't even need
with
to
the
pay.
comments, I've heard of stuff like the comment banks or something like that. There's a name for it.
You know, other people that are still doing it the old way of having to go and the cell phone
Buy
way,
5,000 cell phones
which
and
are-
then go to each and every single one of them.
No, you can have one computer doing that. Now, the only thing that you'd need to worry about in your coding is actually keep on bouncing the IP address. Keep on changing
so
so
it
that
must change the IP so that it seems like
you are different people. Yes. But you can actually do that. I've practically done that. It was 3-line code of 3 lines that did that for me. It didn't have to be a lot of it. But all I'm saying is that a lot of things are happening. Their opinions are
I
actually
also
swayed.
saw it with that whole YT. Can I say the word? That whole misinformation that was given to Trump about people of no color being deleted.
In South Africa, yes.
You know, there was a lot of comments everywhere, even at that Tucker Carlson podcast. And I was like, what are these? These people, these things, they look like robots.
Even building up to the voting in that country, technology was used a lot there, and mainly the X side of it. It was used to actually sway the narrative.
You find these strange accounts popping out of nowhere and extremely aggressive, and you're like, but you haven't posted anything in the last 5 years.
Some of you I see, unfortunately, some of you I see in these cases fighting with these things. I'm like, but can't you recognize that this is a robot?
I've also fought with them, like especially with that whole Trump propaganda thing. I was like, no, this is not happening in South Africa. What is going on? Why are you guys so adamant? And they would put pictures of things that had nothing to do with this. They would take, I would be arguing, and after like a few maybe comment, I realized this thing, it cannot be real.
It
sounds
doesn't
like
have
a robot.
feelings. It doesn't have feelings.
I don't think I'm talking to a real person. That's when I stopped. I will not be arguing online anymore. Because you never know what you're talking to.
You know, when you're pressing certain buttons, you expect a certain reaction. And
yes.
You don't get it, and then like, this thing doesn't have feelings.
This thing doesn't have feelings. This thing doesn't know. And it doesn't know context. Because sometimes you'd provide maybe a fact of something that happened 5 years ago. And it glitches.
Yeah, but that propaganda actually, as Mthosis is saying, it was used to gain certain things, in my opinion.
Yes.
I mean, a man who leads a country that has much intelligence. I'm not gonna say number one intelligence, because now I have a different view.
There's a lot
He
more.
knew what he was doing. He wanted to have an advantage of these people who are coming to his country. I mean, you are already one man down. The fact that you are coming to my country to explain yourself about your country, I'm going to use this thing. He knew that it was not there. And mainly, I think it was used to actually bring that certain product that I cannot talk about.
Yeah.
That vies with... that does a lot of things that are happening now, internet-wise. So it was sort of a thing that was used to bargain, to have more power, to make people look, in fact, to come down so that you can come to the level where I want you to be at, of graveling. And then from there, we start negotiating with about the companies that I need or resources that I need in South Africa. But one thing I like about Trump is the fact that he tells us the truth about this energy thing. He plays his cards open.
The what do they call it? The alternative energy.
This alternative nonsense.
What do they call it? renewable energy.
It tells us truth about it. That's what
those wind things are killing the birds. They're killing the birds. Not good for the environment. It's
They're
not
killing
good.
the birds.
They lied. They lied
They
about
lied
this.
to you. Shame on you if you still believe them.
And then you have other African presidents taking billions
To facilitate
yeah.
what is not gonna work.
Yeah.
Very unfortunate, but it's okay. It's a story for another day. Let's just finish with this one.
Okay. So guys, welcome back to the Mzansi Reality YouTube channel. Yes, today I watched the Senzo Meyiwa trial. Unfortunately, yesterday life happened, guys. It was a lot of activities that I was under and I had to do yesterday. So by the end of the day, I was so tired. I couldn't even watch. I had to catch up as soon as I could. But yeah, the testimony of Moses Bia was indeed very emotional, especially the part we was talking about being taken home to see his parents and how he even cried and asked for a comfort break. It was too emotional. So today, however, in the morning, Mshololo was also not in court today. But the judge had a few sentiments to share about what he had seen. And Mr. Anonymous, I saw that you did a video on this topic.
Yeah.
The judge said that he did see a video of Advocate Mshololo battling it out in court with Defo, and it referred to it as a comic relief in South Africa, The judge asked Baloyi if he has ever heard of a friend of the court, because they were in varsity. He says in his varsity days, a judge would appoint a friend of a court in a matter involving a subject that he is not familiar with. So, for example, he gave an example of gold, and he said that if someone is accused of maybe trading with gold and then overpricing it, and you appoint a friend of the court who is maybe an engineer who understands the gold quality, what this gold is, what it's about, then the judge would want somebody like that who will explain to them, or maybe an economist who can come and quantify that gold, like assessors, for example. You don't just call an assessor, you call an assessor because they've got this specialized skill. They could either be with the case of an accountant or a gynecologist. If you are dealing with different cases, for example, if you're dealing with high financial crime, so you're dealing with an incident where there's a medicine that was given for someone who was with child, and then it chemically induced a termination of a pregnancy or something like that, then you'd want someone with those kind of expertise to assist the court in coming to a sober conclusion.
What about the knowledge that you might have about the situation that they're dealing with? Perhaps more information that I might have. Because that also is covered on that, what do we call Miko something? I was reading it yesterday.
Okay.
A friend of a court. Yeah, I think it's there, but it's not, it's rare. Let's
It's
put it
rare.
like it's there, but it's rare.
It's rare.
There are many scenarios that I think if he was talking about, he did not cover. I think he looked at an expect side, and that is acceptable. Yes, sometimes you have to have expertise, or you must have information that is relevant. That's the part that he missed. Information that is relevant, for example. If I come and say, yeah, this person is actually dealing in that. I know for sure. Here is my part. Like I have information, but I was not called as a witness.
Okay.
So I think this is the part where he missed. It doesn't only relate to expects.
Okay, so you're saying it doesn't only cover expects.
Yeah.
Even if you have more information, you can go and appoint yourself as...
No,
but then-
you don't get to appoint yourself.
Yourself.
You apply
You apply
Yes.
to be a friend of the court.
Yes, and you give your reasons. And if the court feels that your reasons are valid enough to actually assist him or them to reach the conclusion that is sober and sound, then they accept that.
So do you think in this situation with Advocate Tifo is appropriate for him to do that because he's got more knowledge of police? He's been a police officer before.
It can be regarded as that, yes. But
Okay.
in this regard, he comes in as a form of a person who wants to add information. And in that sense, he's already biased because he's saying that these people are corrupt. So I mean, remember, as a friend of a court, you must be objective. Yes.
Okay. All right. So he said that so you appoint someone like that who can assist the court because the court does not have the expertise. So it's the first time in his life that he hears that you can appoint yourself as a friend of the court, which consists, of the doctor here referring to Sibanda and yourself. Baloyi said that he was informed by Ramosepele that they would like to cross-examine. So, Ramosepele started with his cross-examination of accused number 1, Muzau Kalelwa Sibiya, today. And he started off by asking him that before you appeared in Boxburg...
But then again, here a judge is exposing himself in a sense to me because it seems like there is this fight that was already happening. I'm not siding with Tifo that much, but... already Tifo and Baloyi, there is this, one might say, bad blood.
Yes.
Maybe education, bad blood.
Yes.
So those comments, they are seemingly to appease what Tifo may tempt as his enemies. And if you are able to get into that level, delve into that level, and considering the fact that you were not part of the case at the time, and remember, we started de novo. So that's it. That's all I can. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, Conrad was not a good.
Yes, it was not a good thing that Tifo perhaps did, but also
he shouldn't.
Why, as a judge, would you sit in a different court discussing a matter
that's in another
that
court.
is on another court and giving opinions to such? I mean, it's creating that kangaroosism in his court.
I heard them chuckle, even Advocate Baloyi there.
Exactly. Because that's how they were dealing with Tifo when he was there.
So Ramosepele started off by asking Sibiya, before you appeared in Boxburg Magistrate Court in 2020 for the first time, were you aware that your co-accused were arrested for this matter? Sibiya said he didn't know, and Ramosepele then asked him, so for the first time that you found out that you were charged with 4 other people on these charges was when you appeared for the first time at the Boxburg Magistrate Court on the 27th of October 2020. Sibiya said the first time that he saw them was when they were coming from the cells. He said he was not informed that he will be appearing with others. So maybe he was under the impression that he's the only one who's standing accused. Ramosepele then said to him, what was your reaction? And Sibiya said, I was shocked. Ngamangala nje. So the judge said that the question that Mr. Ramosepele had just asked was very ambiguous because he says to you the first time he saw his co-accused was when he appeared in court, but you see the descriptive adjective the first time. Maybe he could have seen him behind before, and he said to him, I don't want to refer you to where he says the first time he saw the co-accused was when he saw them appearing in court on the 27th of October 2020. So Ramosepele said he will clarify and he knows where the court is going. So he clarified the question and he re-asked it, and he said, you testified that you know Ntanzima Pisa and Duli before your appearance at Boxburg Magistrates Court and on the 27th of October 2020, correct? And Sibiya said, correct. You testified.
But isn't it that covered by the co-accused to say from there onwards? We are not talking about whether I know you from the outside world, we are talking about co-accused.
Yes.
He used the word co-accused.
But then the judge was telling him to reframe it, because when he says he's never met them before, it means that he never met them at all before.
There's no such. That question did not to me sound like you have never met them before.
English.
It starts with the co-accused. When are you co-accused? When you met outside, were you co-accused?
No.
That's logic.
Okay, I didn't even pick that one up. Yes, Mr. Anonymous, you're correct. That's logic. Well, Ramasipili then said you testified that you knew Mr. Ntanzi before, but he was not your friend, right? And Sibia said yes. Ramasipili asked him, can you clarify the nature of that relationship? How long you'd known Ntanzi before your first appearance in the Boksburg Magistrates Court? Sibia said, I know Ntanzi from back home. I've known him for a while. As I said, he's from a different village and he's not my friend. He's much younger than me. Their villages actually are neighboring villages. So Ramasipili then asked him, is Ntanzi an acquaintance or something else? Is there some of your siblings that he may know? And Sibia said Ntanzi knew Gwabeni and he got along with him, and he said that he's the brother to Gwabeni and he's much younger than him. So Ntanzi and Muzi's younger brother know each other and they get along. And this brother is much younger than Muzi, more or less Ntanzi's age. So Ramasipili then asked, did you have any personal interactions as well as telephonic communication with Ntanzi in 2014? Sibia said no. As it stands, there are no cell phone records, in my opinion, to prove otherwise. And it's very unfortunate that they can't subpoena from the network that he was using in 2014. I hope there's a way to find that out. I just hope there is.
Unfortunately, Pinky has put the rubber stamp of not being able to happen.
So Ramasipili then says,
maybe though, if it's a different network, it can be looked at, maybe.
So Ramasipili then said, specifically on the day of the 26th of October 2014, did you telephonically or personally communicate with Mr. Ntanzi? Sibia said no, it never happened. Ramasipili then asked him, did you have the number of Mr. Ntanzi saved on your phone on the 26th of October 2014? Sibia said no. Ramasipili then asked him, specifically during the 26th of October 2014, did you receive a request from any of the accused persons or anyone to furnish that person with the contact number of Mr. Ntanzi? Sibia said no. Ramasipili then asked him, having known Ntanzi, Mapisa and Tuli, do you know if Ntanzi knew the other two? Sibia said, I knew them, but don't know if they know each other. Ramasipili then said, on the 26th of October 2014, did Mapisa ask you to furnish him with Ntanzi's number? Sibia said no, he never did that. Ramasipili now turned to Sibia's arrest on the 30th of May 2020, which Mohola and Buthelezi have testified that Sibia's arrest was as a result of having a warrant of arrest. Do you guys remember that? They testified that they had a warrant of arrest.
Yes.
That was pending or something like that. Sibia said that he heard them when they were testifying in court saying all of that. So Ramasipili then asked him, were you given a copy of your warrant of arrest? And Sibia said, no, I never had sight of it. Ramasipili then asked him, were you allowed to read it? Sibia said, no, they never showed me. Ramasipili then said, did any of the arresting officers read a warrant of arrest out to you when they arrested you at Tembisa on the 30th of May 2025? Sibia said no. Ramasipili then said, when you were arrested on the 30th of May 2020, immediately then, did the officers tell you that, Mr. Sibia, we are now arresting you for the J50 warrant for the arrest of Tembisa case 217 of 3/2019 for the dealing in illegal substance case? Sibia said no, they never informed him. Ramasipili then asked him, did they inform you that they were arresting you regarding case 63610 of 2014, which is the murder of Senzo Meyiwa? And Sibia said, no, I was never informed. They just assaulted me and asked what I know about the death of Senzo Meyiwa. Ramasipili then asked about the 2 cell phones that were confiscated from him. Earlier on in his testimony, he did share that he had 2 cell phones that were taken from him on the day of his arrest. Now, the first one was a Samsung touchscreen, which was a silver gray color, and the other one was an old Samsung, but the name of it was no longer clear at the top. He says that it was a black one with buttons. Ramasipili asked him what happened to them after they were confiscated. Have they ever been returned to you? Sibia said, I only got to have sight of my cell phone on the 31st when Mohola came in and asked me to insert the pin to unlock it, and after that I never saw it again. Ramasipili then asked him, did you receive any receipt to show that the police have seized all your cell phones? Sibia said, no. Hey, Mr. Anonymous, bebezenzela ngo Sibia Shem. Allegedly. Yiso no phela lento le. I didn't know that when the police confiscate your items when you get arrested, they're actually supposed to give you a slip. And I'm sure he didn't know either.
No.
They have to give you a receipt so that they can track and trace your items when you get released or should you get released. So this never happened with Sibia. So
that talks to evidence. The chain of, what do they call it? The chain of evidence.
Yes, the chain of evidence.
Yeah.
Ramasipili then said to him, you mentioned that you were arrested by a combination of law enforcement. Does the name Sadiki ring a bell to you? And Sibia said, yes, he's from Metro Police. Ramasipili then asked, what role did he play from the time of your arrest to when you appeared before Colonel Mboto until you were locked up for the night at Valeria? Sibia said Sadiki was present when he was arrested in Vosloorus, and Diepkloof, he was there too. But when they arrived at Valeria police station, he was not there. Ramasipili then asked, what role did he play in your assault? Sibia said he also participated in the assault. Even when they covered his face with plastic, they were taking turns, even when they were kicking him. Ramasipili then said, and the name Fano, does it ring a bell? Sibia said, yes, he was from Metro Police. He said, I don't know which car he was driving. And Ramasipili then asked him again, what role did he play in your arrest at Vosloorus and Diepkloof? Sibia said Fano was present from Tembisa, Vosloorus, and also in Soweto, and he participated in the assault, covering his face with a plastic and kicking him. Ramasipili then said, you also said you were taken to Lethabong, some kind of municipality precinct. And Sibia said they took me to Lethabong, a municipality area. Ramasipili said that there are no new names he could have or could give to Sibia. These are the only names that rang a bell. You have to remember that once upon a time he was also representing Sibia. So he did receive some of the information while it was still maybe a little bit fresh.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say, yes, that's like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Right. So he was maybe recalling these 2 names because Sibia at the time had given him these 2 names. It's quite interesting though that the state never called neither of these 2 individuals to come and testify. Very interesting. And I'm not saying that they should come to testify because we've seen so far about the police officers and their story and they're sticking to it, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're going to be making any kind of difference, but I'm saying of all the police officers that were many and they were there, they only took a portion of those police officers to come and testify.
Yeah.
So Ramasipili then said, you've also testified that at some stage you were taken to Lethabong, which you described as some kind of municipality precinct, and you were taken to what looks like a change room. Sibia said, I did say that room looked like a change room in like the rooms in the factories. Ramasipili asked for a description of that room. How big was it? Were there any windows? Was there a door? Were there lockers? That will give an impression that perhaps this may be used as a changing room. Sibia seemed to have like a bit of a challenge to describe it, but then Ramasipili guided him and said, let's first start with the dimensions. How big was this room? And Sibia, he said, although he cannot remember well because he was scared, he said that it can start from where he was standing to where the judge's registrar was sitting. So Ramasipili said his colleagues and him can concur the same. It is roughly 6 meters, which means they have been to that area and they've kind of observed and seen it. Ramasipili then asked him, were there windows in that room? Sibia said that he did not pay attention to the windows. They could have been small. He says all the officers went into that room. Ramasipili then asked him, did all the officers that arrested you and took you there enter that room, or only specific ones entered that room? Sibia said they all entered inside that room. Ramasipili then asked him, the police officers that arrested you, Buthelezi and Mogola, testified that they searched the room that you shared with your uncle. They found ammunition and a firearm cleaning rod. Sibia then said, I heard them when they mentioned that, but it never happened that way. Ramasipili asked him, were you present when they searched? Sibia said, yes, they pushed me inside. Ramasipili asked him, were you shown these items they say they found? Sibia said, no, it was never shown to me. Even in court, when it was requested, they said it was taken for lifting of fingerprints. This is interesting. The fact that Sibia says they arrested him, and they never showed him those items that they said they found. And then in court, they were requested of those items, and they said that those things had been taken for the lifting of fingerprints.
So he's serving time in jail for what evidence that he never saw.
Basically. Because now when I recall the judgment, there was no mention of fingerprints. Was there? I don't remember it.
Nice life problems. That's South Africa for you. Typical South African. That's how we have
Which
to deal.
means the exhibits were not even shown to him in court. This is interesting. Ramasipili asked about the Buthelezi brothers now. He asked, when were the names of the Buthelezi brothers raised during your questioning by the police officers? Sibia said in Tembisa, Vosloorus and Diepkloof. Ramasipili asked him, among the officers that arrested you, who of the officers that arrested you first mentioned the Buthelezi brothers to you? Sibia said Mabena, Mogola and Bongani. This Bongani has not come to testify, but the state has not called him, has it?
No.
And his name is being mentioned by Sibia quite a lot.
They will say they don't need all the witnesses. They just need the few, which is fair enough.
Well, Ramasipili then asked him what was the context in which these Buthelezi brothers' names were mentioned, and what specific about the Buthelezi brothers was mentioned to you by these police officers that you just mentioned now. Sibia said that they said to me that I and the Buthelezi brothers killed Senzo. Ramasipili then asked him, and how did you respond when that was said to you? Sibia said, I told them that I knew nothing about Senzo's death. I never killed Senzo. Sibia said the names were never mentioned in Tembisa. Tembisa, remember, is the first time that they arrested him. They were mentioned in Vosloorus.
Yeah.
Right. Ramasipili then asked him, let's go to Vosloorus. Who mentioned the names of the Buthelezi brothers there? Sibia says that their name was raised by Gininda. Ramasipili then asked him, within what context did Brigadier Gininda come up with those names of the Buthelezi brothers at Vosloorus? Sibia said he asked me what I knew about Senzo's death. He said he knew I had a hand in Senzo's death with my friends, the Buthelezi brothers. Abafana bagwa Buthelezi. Then Ramasipili asked him, did Brigadier Gininda mention the first names of those Buthelezi brothers? Sibia said he mentioned Makimba Buthelezi and Marco Buthelezi. Marco. I remember Marco in somebody's statement.
That is his statement. Is it his statement?
Is it his confession?
Yeah, that's the one that they said was.
I remember Marco, this name Marco, and remember the statement that Zungu first came with and had errors. They did not have Marco.
It had Marco.
So Ramasipili then said, besides the names and the surname, did Brigadier Gininda furnish you with any additional description of those Buthelezi brothers, their features? Sibia said he only described one as a Rasta. Marco.
Oh.
Mark, who apparently had dreadlocks. Accused number 3 at
Can't
some
make this
point
shit
was mistakenly referred to as Mark. Who still remembers those days? I remember those days where
So
they
this
kept
whole
referring to
thing was
accused number
going
3
to
as
the
Marco.
door of the Buthelezis, which happened to be inside at the time of the incident. And it all had to change. Unfortunately, readjusting is something that needs time. And perhaps the time was not there. I'm just looking now at the story of the accused now, from the accused perspective. You just listen to this because there are a lot of loopholes that you'd find about this evidence. And then, I almost said to cover for that. I want the proper English word that is not going to put me in trouble. To make shift for that, then they say his statement is non-factor in a sense. It is, they find out that he lied.
Yes, but he lied.
As they did the digging of the investigation.
Yes. Like they do investigations. But either way, it is what it is. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
So Ramasipili then said, Brigadier Bongani Gininda said, when you were questioned in Tembisa, you came up with the name of the Buthelezi brothers and not him. Sibia said, I'm not the one who came up with the Buthelezi surname because I know nothing about Senzo's death. It is him who came up with the names of the Buthelezi brothers. Ramasipili then said, he further said that in fact, when they further investigated the Buthelezi brothers, they then realized that you, Mr. Sibia, were trying to mislead them from the actual perpetrators by mentioning the names of the Buthelezi brothers. Sibia said, I never misled them. I only told them the truth, that I know nothing about the death of Senzo. Ramasipili then continued on to ask that Sergeant Mohola testified that upon recovering the ammunition from the shack on the 30th of May 2020, she asked where the firearm capable of firing the ammunition was, and you told them that it was at some hostel in Tembisa. Sibia said, I heard that, but that's how it happened. She did not show me anything, and neither did I direct her to anyone living at a hostel. Ramasipili said she testified further that upon the conversation you say never happened, they then took you to a hostel in Tembisa and they asked around. Did you have a conversation on the 30th of May with Sergeant Mohola in which you implicated yourself in the killing of Senzo Meyiwa? Sibia said, no, I never spoke with her privately. They were in a group at all times as police, and they asked me that question about the death of Senzo at Litabong, and I answered, I know nothing about it. Ramasipili then asked him, the essence of what I want to extract from you is this. Did you make certain admissions to Mohola implicating yourself in the death of Senzo Meyiwa? Sibia said no. Mohola said she called her boss, Gininda. Ramasipili now continues to paint the whole testimony that Mohola gave. She said, in fact, they were on their way to Fosloras. And then Brigadier Gininda said, I'll meet you and the team together with Mr. Sibia at Fosloras. Did all the police units, Metro and SAPS that arrested you on the 30th of May 2020, did they travel with you to Fosloras police station? Sibia said, yes, they were all there. Ramasipili then asked, what was Gininda driving in Fosloras? So Sibia said he was driving a Mercedes-Benz. And Ramasipili asked for the description of that Mercedes, and Sibia said it was a white sedan. A Mercedes-Benz white sedan. This is 2020.
And when you check, has he ever driven such a car?
I don't know. He said his cars are covert operations. Ramasipili then asked him, earlier you spoke about Gwabini, and I know that it's a clan name of the Zungus. Please clarify on which one you were referring to. And Sibia said he was talking about Sfiso Zungu. Another name, Sfiso. Sfiso popped up in accused number one's confession.
Sfiso Zungu and then it eventually changed to
Fiso
Fiso
Guhle.
Guhle.
Ntuli. Who still remembers that? Huh? It's Fiso case, Fiso. Even in Zungu's thingy, kukhona uSifiso lephaya.
That's where Fiso is actually corrected. Upon many times of calling him Fiso. And then they changed it to Fiso Guhle.
Yeah. So Fiso Zungu is the one that is acquainted to Ntanzi and is your brother. Sibia said yes. Fiso Zungu is the one who is used to Ntanzi and it's his younger brother. So Ramasipili then asked, and that's Fiso Zungu is the Gwabeni, the same one that allegedly hosted a gathering at the Foslera's hostel on the 26th of October 2014. Sibia said yes.
Sure. Kanti basekakeni mos.
Okay.
Basekakeni mos.
Why?
This whole case is based on Fiso Zungu Gwabini
Yes.
hosting this whole thing.
Yes.
Do you know what he's gonna come and say?
What?
Seeing his brother there? You think he's gonna throw his brother under the
So
bus?
is this the Gwabeni that they said allegedly they are looking for? Allegedly? And he's can't be found? Allegedly? So it's the brother of Muzi.
Kuzonyiwe mos. The Popesal dance, man.
Yo. Ramasipili then said, you say you were assaulted until you lost control of your bladders. Bia said yes. Ramasipili then said, and the police officers took you back to your shack to change clothes. Sibia said yes. Ramasipili then asked, what happened to those clothes? Sibia said the police took them. Ramasipili then asked, who handled those clothes? And Sibia said, it's Mabena, who is no longer with us. Ramasipili then asked, Brigadier Gininda mentioned that Kelly Khumalo was mentioned by both you and Ntanzi as a trigger point. You remember? And Sibia said yes, he remembers. In your evidence, when did the name Kelly Khumalo come to the fore in your interaction with the police? Sibia said, I think I first heard the name in Tembisa. Ramasipili then asked, are you certain? Sibia said, I think I first heard of that in Tembisa, though I'm not 100% sure. Ramasipili then asked, and he would be valid to think of it go Tembisa because I recall Zungu testifying that at some point Joyce Buthelezi and Warrant Officer Makubu were asking him whether he was working for Kelly Khumalo. Do you remember that? And this is 2019, right?
Yes.
They were asking, are you working for Kelly? Then Ramasipili said the whole investigating team, when they were questioning you, in which context did the name Kelly Khumalo arise? Sibia said they were busy asking about the death of Senzo and they mentioned that we had an agreement with Kelly to kill the deceased. Ramasipili then asked, did you know who Kelly Khumalo was? Sibia said no, he did not know her. You have to not be interested in music or pop music at all. I know those kind of people.
Also cake. Let's just put it like that because my introduction, I'm not gonna lie.
Let me be honest. Mr. Anonymous didn't know Kelly Khumalo.
I started knowing Kelly Khumalo through
the Senzo situation.
No. I started knowing her through Ikeke.
Oh, when she would...
DJ. Yeah. No, that's a fact.
Hey, we've been through a lot as a country.
It's a fact.
And then you still had Daily Sun in those Daily Sun days when they would just put the picture there in front page and be like...
It's a fact. And people were fighting to be...
Hey, we've been through a lot.
They were fighting, male were fighting to sit on the first row when he was singing. When that's how I started knowing her.
Oh my God. Hey, what an era. What an era. What a time. What a time to be alive in South Africa. Hey, it was very interesting times. Yo. Eyes we are good, the ship. Oh, that's what you do.
That's it. And many of you who are my age would probably say, yeah, they know through that keke thingy of being a church. There was a very long debate of whether he was a church or not.
There were even debates. Oh my God, I know. She traumatized most of us. I was traumatized. It's like, there's no way you can make this a fashion thing. What is going on? Evolve somewhere, somehow. Innovate. Reinvent yourself. That's the artistry. Reinvent yourself some other way. Not like this.
No, sis was, oh yeah, she showed us. We saw it.
The whole, there is still pictures even now. Every now and again on Twitter, they pull them up and I'm like, oh my God, I have forgotten about this era.
Others saw, and they wanted to maybe to touch it, and
so they would
things
go to
happened.
the shows.
No. I'm saying others saw, they didn't maybe stop there from seeing. They wanted to taste.
Team, I know.
And today we are here.
Well, it's been more than 10 years and we're still asking what happened to Senzo. So Ramasepeli now turned to the assault. Oh, and I also wanted to bring up this, you guys, that for someone who listens to Maskandi most of the time, they don't know who. Let me find a vocalist who doesn't sing Maskandi at all. They wouldn't know who. Let me try to think of a vocalist right now so far. They wouldn't perhaps know who Nkosazana the daughter is.
No.
Mr. Noname, do you know who Nkosazana the daughter is?
I think I can. Is the one of the S?
What do you mean S now?
Was big nyana, chubby nyana?
She lost weight now.
Okay. I don't, like, honestly, I know Mahu because
do you know who
he collaborated.
Do you know who Zingumalo is?
I cannot remember the song.
Exactly.
I think I need a face.
That's the point I'm trying to prove.
So I'm a Maskandi fan.
Who
Maskandi fan.
to Maskandi at the time, back in 2014, would not know Kidli Kumalo.
We only know Mahu now because now
they collaborated.
No Lokuzana.
They crossed over nyana.
Record.
Yes. Because they sing Maskandi.
Because that's what sells in South Africa these days.
But back then, Maskandi was very much a close-knit thing.
No, people were back then. It was a lot of talent that was there. You wouldn't just go to studio without having a talent.
So you can even see with pictures of what's the artist Mkumeni on their phones. That
Nama supported Mkumeni.
People who listened to Maskandi back then, I doubt they knew who Kelly was.
Big fan of Mkumeni. I used to listen to all the
It isn't shocking to me. I know some people are like, oh, he's lying. There's no way he would not have known who Kelly Kumalo is.
Nah, man.
But no. I have met people like that.
He's from villages. I knew because at the time where was I? Was I Varsity or something like that?
The internet.
So I knew because of that. I mean, when you show yourself like that, it would be a famous thing. We'll discuss it through the dining hall and then discuss of what we saw, obviously, and how we think of it. So it was a norm. I mean, we would bunk classes discussing things like that. I mean, that's what boys do.
Not bunk classes?
No, it's a fact. That's what boys do. Varsity.
Oh my God.
Check on your kids.
No.
We don't attend. We chill there. We watch.
Yeah.
We imagine.
I'm glad that era is over. I'm glad it's gone. She's a classy lady now.
What?
She wears.
What?
Sometimes
fully.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes she fully dresses. We appreciate that a lot.
I still see the butt cheeks sometimes now and then.
Kota kungcono kuda 2008.
No, 2008, I was shange poem.
Hayi kungcono kakhulu.
Shange po.
Siyabonga.
In fact, that was Zoto before Zoto.
Yeah, that was Zota before Zota. Zota, Kelly ran so that, Kelly walked so that Zota could run. Zota
When Zoto came, it was much more easier.
yeah, so the Zota woman could run. Yes. Ramasipili now turned to the assault, and then he described how that plastic bag was used. And then Sibia said they were using a plastic bag from the shops that had two handles, like a plastic bag from ShopRite. Sibia was asked to demonstrate using a blue Pick and Pay plastic bag.
Sure.
Sibia said that he won't be able to demonstrate on himself. He needed to demonstrate on someone else.
I think he low-key wanted Mukhale.
Mukhula.
He low-key wanted to demonstrate.
And then Ramsey really laughed and he's like, I don't have insurance. I don't have insurance for the interpreter, because he was thinking maybe he wanted to demonstrate with the interpreter. Well, he said that the one that they gave him was small, but he did eventually demonstrate. Apparently, he placed it across his face and wrapped it all the way around. And he said that it was not a see-through bag, the one that they placed on him. They placed it... He said that during the assault, his eyes and nose were closed. And during this ordeal, he had difficulty breathing. It's like your heart stops and your lungs close up. And when they used that plastic, they would see that he would have difficulty breathing. When they removed it, then they would give him a bit of a chance to breathe. When he said he knew nothing about the death of Senzo Meyiwa, they would put it back. Sibia said he was in 2 police stations before the 30th when he was transferred to Morderby prison. He was first at Valeria and then they took him to Silverton. He was held under condition where he stayed alone in a cell and no one was allowed to be detained with him in the same cell. At Silverton, when Mokhani said that he should be in a single cell, they told him, the police officer said that police station actually said to Mokhani that there's no detainee in this who's in this police station who stays in a cell alone. It's 3 or more people.
Yeah.
Ramosipeli then turned to Constable Zungu, who placed the accused.
So isolation, if you look at it in this way, because by now, one of the people that could have maybe shared the cell with him could have come out and said, actually, this guy, came this way. So
he had bruises
in a sense, you have to accept that this could have happened indeed, because then the isolation.
Some of them would have come to testify and said, you know what, we did see him. Every time he would come at night, he came back with bruises and scars, or he looked drained, like he hadn't eaten for days. Stuff like that, They would have probably done that, which is why maybe they wanted them alone in cells, because even with Tanzi, they did the same thing. That's why they kept them at Valeria this entire time, because Muzi is now sharing that at Valeria, actually, they did keep them in single cells. It's the other police station where they said, no, we don't do that here, Silverton. They said, no, we don't do that here. So Ramasipili turned to Constable Zungu, who placed the accused at the Foslorus hostel on the day of the murder. The state believes that this is where the murder of soccer star was planned, and Zungu described that whole scene of them singing and dancing, kwakumnandi, sisha ingoma, sidla inyama, all of that. Ramasipili then asked him, do you know, or do you personally know Constable Zungu, who said that they were at the Basuto hostel on the 26th of October 2014? Well, Sibia says that he does know him from 2019. To say, when they introduced them, but ubani wakabani uzalwa kwabani, so and so, so it was for the first time in 2019 that he was encountering him. But he does say that in 2014, he did see him in Vosloorus with Makosonke in 2017. So Ramasipili then asked, can you tell us the context of that encounter with Constable Zungu in 2014 fully? I think he meant 2017 fully. For example, where in Vosloorus, what was the occasion and so on.
Yeah.
And Sibia said that he was going to Naledi Mall from Tova, from Ndwandwe. Well, he was with Tova, the name Tova. And this Tova is from Ndwandwe. And he said that when he was there...
Ndwandwe's the name?
Yes.
Ndwandwe.
Ndwandwe. From Ndwandwe.
There are many that side of Nongom and Mahlabatin.
Oh, yes. And he said that when he was there, he saw Makosonke with a person who came to them, and he introduced this person as Constable Zungu. Right? And then he says in 2019, they were traveling in a car and they were walking. So Constable Zungu is the one who was driving. So Tova and Constable Zungu were in a car. Constable Zungu was driving while Sibia and a friend were walking. So Ramasipili then asked, what were they driving? And Sibia said Zungu was driving a Polo. He thinks it was white in color. And Ramasipili asked if it was a sedan or a hatchback. And Sibia said it was a sedan. It had a B at the end of the registration, which belonged to SAPS. So Ramasipili then asked, were you meeting there for the first time? Sibia said that was when he saw him for the first time. He said at the time he did not know that he was a member of the South African Police Service. Ramasipili then asked, and then what transpired? Sibia said, I was inside the mall walking out from ShopRite. I saw and spoke to Makosonke. Makosonke is the one I knew. Then Ramasipili asked, is it the same Makosonke that Constable Zungu said when he was going to Vosloorus, he picked Makosonke up from Carlton Center? Sibia said, I think it was him. So we got into the car and they said we are going to where Gwabini
Makosonke
was
is still
staying.
alive?
Yes. There hasn't been any mention of him being deceased.
Passed away then?
Snako.
The revolver thing. Okay. So, and Makosonke was never called. As a person who was that close with Constable Zungu.
No.
He was never called.
No.
To affirm
No.
the story of Constable Zungu.
No. Nope.
And we didn't pick that one up initially. I'm now picking it now because, if Makosonke is still alive, then why not call him? Because the whole story starts with him being in Joburg and being fetched there and going there, and him getting lost during the time when they were busy drinking, only to find that he was busy with a girlfriend, saying that he's going to sleep within his girlfriend's place now, he's no longer going, and all that. Those are the things that you would have wanted to collaborate if you really, your case has the meat that you claim it has.
But we will take Zungu's weight. It is what it is.
And that's how they deal with you. Someone who's not a police could have came to affirm the police story.
But it's just them. Them against Abu
You
Sibia.
versus the whole system of SAPS.
Ramasipili then asked, was Gwabini staying at Basuto Hostel in 2017? Sibia said yes. And what happened at Gwabini's place in 2017? Sibia said they were sitting and having drinks there. Is it possible that this whole thing of sitting and having drinks
just changed time.
is the story that Zungu gave, but he took the time to 2014 instead of it being 2017? It
does sound like that. But this is an event that happened 2017. Now, the next question is, was the other accused there?
Yeah, with the rest of the accused.
Which
there
is
in
probably
that
not,
event.
because the other one was arrested, right?
Yeah. Ngube was arrested. And even accused number 4 was also arrested at 2017, if I'm not mistaken. So Ramasipili then asked, were you at Basotho Hostel on the 26th of October 2014 at Gwabini's where in Tanzintuli, Mapisa, Ngube where? Sibia said no. As I said, I was never at Basotho Hostel on the 26th of October 2014. Ramasipili said Constable Zungu said sometime later he saw you, Ntanzi and Ngube, coming in hurriedly and in shock going into Gwabini's room. Sibia said, I never entered into Gwabini's room with Ngube and Ntanzi, and I never walked into Gwabini's room shocked or scared, as I had never been at Basotho Hostel on the 26th of October 2014. Ramasipili said Constable Zungu said he saw you carrying a revolver and Mr. Ngube in possession of a 9mm, and you handed both firearms to Gwabeni. Sibia said, I never saw Constable Zungu giving Gwabeni a firearm. I never held a firearm in my hands and never gave any firearm to Gwabeni. I never saw Zungu take back his firearm from Gwabeni. As I said, I was never there at Basotho Hostel on the 26th of October 2014. Ramasipili then asked him, Constable Zungu said that upon his receipt of this service pistol from Gwabeni, he sniffed it at the firearm to make sure that, it was not recently fired because he suspected that something was amiss. Sibia said, I never saw Zungu sniffing his firearm. I've never been to the hostel in 26th of October 2014. Ramasipili then said at that stage, when he was reprimanding everyone and sniffing his firearm, accused number 2 then left Gwabini's room and went to the kitchen area, the common area. Sibia said, I never saw accused number 2 walking out. As I have said, I was never there at the hostel on the 26th of October 2014. Ramasipili then said at some point accused number 1 came in and he asked if there was a problem, and accused number 5 said, Uncle, please step aside. I want to speak to the remaining persons in the room. Sibia said, I know nothing about that. I've never seen that in 2014, 26th
No,
of
maphakathi phephisa man. Phephisa. Engathi kungaba ngcono uphole kulezinto sodlule kuzo. Yeah, you are a family. Engathi ungaphola kulaba balahlekile emndenini wakho. Pepisa. I know you understand when I say it like this. I don't want to say it in English. Like this, I think you'd understand. Like sitting nje do emdenini. So she's narrating on the first message that don't deliver, when I was saying I lost my sister and her daughter and her grandson in a car accident nearly 3 months ago. So I'm struggling to accept. We are here. We have become your family. So we are here. We're going to go through this, even though we don't understand it and how you're feeling. But because we are people, we know how it feels to lose people, but to lose a person. But to lose people, it's a different story. Yes. And sitting here, Dudu.
I'm so sorry. But we are here and time heals all wounds. I'm very sorry. Well, he found that Mr. Ntanzi was busy changing a hooded jacket, and he was initially wearing a black hoodie, and then he changed into a gray hoodie. Sibia said he never saw accused number 2 changing hoodies. He was never at Basotho Hostel on the 26th of October 2014. Ramasipili then said that he asked Gwabeni about one of the firearms, whether the firearm was not the one that was used to shoot Snako. Sibia said he remembers Constable Zungu saying that. Ramasipili then said, you met Constable Zungu, you say in 2017, and he placed you at the murder scene in 2014. What is it about your relationship with Zungu that would make him implicate you in a murder? Because you say in 2014 you didn't know him. Sibia said, I don't know the reason he would place me at the scene of a crime in 2014. I cannot speak on his behalf or say what motivated him to implicate me in a crime that I know nothing about. I only came to know of Zungu in 2017 in Vosloorus. I was then told by Gwabeni who he was in 2019 in Tembisa. In 2014, I never knew him. So Sibiya said he recalls what Gininda said. Gininda testified that after you had spoken to him, you made certain admissions. You gave him an impression that a monkey was taken off your back because now you had spoken about the admission that you made to him. That time, Brigadier Gininda was saying, he seemed so relieved after telling me the truth, like a big weight had been lifted off his shoulders.
Imagine.
Hallelujah.
A big weight is lifted on your shoulders when you are going to jail. There is no weight more than that, other than death.
Hey, like a priest. He made it seem like Sibiya thought he was talking to a priest.
There's a story of Kabelo, of Kabelo and Peltus and Best. Those are the things that, when you think about it, it's like a movie. You lift someone, it gets in you don't know this person, you lift them, then all of a sudden you find yourself being prayed by your pastor because you have convinced a hard criminal to go. Things we hear. Yeah. In South Africa.
Well, Sibiya said it's not like that. When I met Gininda, he arrived there with me being assaulted. The police would have a meeting on the side. Then they would come back together to ask me what I knew about Senzo's death. Then I would say I know nothing about Senzo's death. To say that I was relieved, it was wrong because they increased the assault because they were asking me what I knew about the death of Senzo and kept telling them that I knew nothing of Senzo's death. Ramasepili then said on the 30th of May 2020, did you, Sibiya, make certain admissions to Brigadier Gininda regarding your personal information in the matter of Senzo Meyiwa? Sibiya said there's nothing I admitted to regarding the death of Senzo Meyiwa. Even now, I'm still saying that I know nothing about the death of Senzo Meyiwa. Ramasepili concluded with the events of the 6th of June 2020 when Sibiya was taken to his family home. Brigadier Gininda has testified that the reason why you were taken to your parents was for the bail verification purposes, to verify your address, not what you said that Bongani asked you what can they do for you because you'd been in custody without seeing your parents, relatives and children. Sibiya said yes, and Ramasepili asked him, did Gininda tell you that he's taking you to your hometown for bail verification purposes? Sibiya said no. Ramasepili then said, you leave Captain Park. How were your hands at the time? Were they restrained in any way? And Sibiya said, my hands were cuffed at the back. Sibiya said the cuffs were very tight. He sat on top of them. He said, when you sit on the seat and then you sit on top of those cuffs with the weight of your body on them. So there was no space. And to return to the matter of Tembisa regarding his address, he says he did give out his address where his uncle was staying to his legal representative. He still remembered the address as 1818 Vusmosis section, the one that they wrote wrong there in the other warning statement. Do you guys remember?
81.
They wrote 8181.
818.
Yes, instead of 1818. And then they said he gave them the wrong address. That's why his bail was denied.
They picked him up there. And he gives them the wrong, they know where they picked him up.
Not only that, they go to his homestead.
And the judge believes that was for verification purposes.
You know that should he run away, where to find him? But you still deny him bail. Allegedly. Well, he said he was handcuffed.
Couldn't have found bail because he was nailed for.
But that's what they arrested him for. They didn't charge him for that, for Senzo's case then. He was charged for this very same illicit substance dealing and ammunition case. So at the time, they hadn't charged him for Senzo's case yet. You understand? They had not yet charged him for Senzo. They charged him in October.
So it was a Tembisa case?
Yes. They charged him in October for Senzo's case. So you can imagine So when they arrived at his parents' home, he was still handcuffed at all times. He could not remember if he was afforded comfort breaks throughout the trip. He said he went to relieve himself. He was pressed when he arrived home. That is a long journey. I cannot imagine taking that journey without a break. I need a break.
It is a long journey. And that thing of 8,
and I need food.
That thing of 8 hours, it's lies, man. People
I
must
think he
not,
added an hour.
People must not lie. You see, that logic of 8 hours, it's a lie. It's a lie, that thing. This thing of estimating while you have never estimated a thing in your life. The only thing you know is how to define the Roman Dutch law and stick to that. Stick to that. Stick to that. I mean, going that side, it takes at most, if you are using your private car, and considering how police drive, it could have
fast.
taken them 5 hours, maybe
4 to
30
5
minutes.
hours.
No, 5 hours. 4
5
hours, Newcastle.
Oh, so it would be 5 hours, 30
It will be
minutes,
5
or
hours,
6
30 minutes.
hours.
Let's say
Max.
at most maximum
6 hours.
6 hours. Because from Midrand, Ubamba, Midrand, and then you join EN3. From there, you are gone.
Okay.
Where was he at?
Captain Park.
Come on. And then you are saying that you 2 hours.
It takes 8 hours with a taxi.
8 hours
Or
to
with the
where?
bus.
Emily, logic. To KZN, if you come from Joburg to KZN,
Yes.
you use N3. That's our exit.
Okay.
It's N3.
Yes.
N3 from Kempton Park. If you go to Woodmead, for example,
Yes.
Woodmead, N3 starts that side.
Okay.
You are going to KZN. So where is Kempton Park from Woodmead of let's say that side of, because here Woodmead, here is Mall of Africa there, and then where's Kempton Park? It's not far from that.
It's not far.
So where is 1 hour getting it? Because you are not going to Joburg. He's treating it as if you are going to Joburg, taking a taxi from Kempton Park going to Joburg. It's not even an hour, by the way, that.
Yes.
It's a lie.
Wrong estimation. Overestimation.
It's a lie.
Okay.
It's a lie.
So they asked him, when you were booked out of Valeria, had you already had breakfast? Sibia said he had not eaten yet. Ramasipili then says, from Valeria to Captain Park. Remember, Valeria is in Pretoria. So that's why he added the 1 hour.
Verera is in Pretoria.
Yes.
I mean, Kempton Park is part of, which side is it? Is it under Joburg or?
Joburg. It's under Joburg, Kempton Park. But you are right, it doesn't take an hour with a car.
No, it doesn't.
I know it does with a train. Or more. But with a car, though, I think it's more or less 45 minutes or 30 minutes with no traffic. So from Valeria to Captain Park to Mahlabatini.
Verelian or Verelia?
Valeria Police Station. Valeria Police Station is in Pretoria.
Okay.
Yes. So he said from Valeria to Captain Park to Mahlabatini, were you offered anything to eat? And Sibia said no, they never gave him anything to eat. Did you eat at the homestead? And Sibia said no, he never ate. The cruelty of it all, family, the cruelty of it all. So Ramasipili then said, did you have a drink at your parents' homestead? And Sibia said, no, I never drank anything. So the police officers that transported you, did they have food along the way? And Sibia said, yes, they did. So badlile bona they ate. Okay, they just didn't give Sibia any food because he was not worthy, right? allegedly. So Ramasipili then said, from your home bag, were you given any food or drink by the police officers? Sibiya said, no, they did not give him any food or drinks. Ramasipili then concluded his cross-examination, but it seems like the judge was in his feelings over this part of the cross-examination. He cannot fathom that police could be so cruel to not give Sibiya any food or anything to drink as they transported him.
Can you fathom that the police can be so cruel to torture someone?
I don't think he can fathom that either. To him,
isn't it denying someone food part of torture?
It is part of torture, denying a person food for hours and hours on end. And on top of that, there's
we are hearing testimonies of people that were tortured by Bomdlula, according to Bosby, and all that. What is difficult to fathom?
He doesn't want to fathom that. He can't process it.
Yeah, still, even if you come from Verele, it's still 6 hours. In fact, Muzi was correct in saying 7 hours. 6 hours, 49 minutes. With your car, I think you cut that time.
Maraki sono still, that long time without anything to eat, your hands are cuffed at the back, and to think that you are being treated like someone who was caught in the act. You are being treated like someone who was caught in the middle of a heist, who had killed 3 or 4 people.
It's a sign of prejudice, if you ask me. The fact that
evidence is
the judge is already casting aspersion on the middle of the testimony, while someone is still going to be questioned by the state. It's just beyond me. What kind of clarity is it?
Giving them ideas again. This was also part of giving the state an idea of where they need to hammer.
And obvious, the doctor. Hey, the doctor. Yeah, the doctor is going to. Perhaps I'm sure Baloyi probably is going to give him.
Yeah, he's gonna hammer on this. This was a clue. You know how he does. He always does these funny things. But then here's the weirdness of it all. Let's go through it. RATHA started with this questioning of his. He said, just for clarification, you don't have to answer if you don't want to. Here is this guy called Gininda who mishandled you, and then suddenly he offers for you to go and see your parents, and this gentleman is a brigadier. It's a Saturday, and he goes with his juniors who report to him. He shows this magnanimous effort from his part. He leaves his children and he goes down with you for 8 hours. Don't stop anywhere in the path to say, here's some water.
Exaggeration of hours. That's a first thing.
Here's some food. You can go and pass some water. They go direct you. When you get there, you don't say we must have a meal with your family. They just show you your parents, which was a traumatic experience for your parents.
Do police have time to have meal with your family when they arrested you? When we are actually in their custody, do they have time for that nonsense?
No, they don't. They will flip your house upside down looking for whatever they're looking for. And then come out with black plastic bags.
He was like this for since his lifetime, but uyasikhulumisa lo mdala. Ngabe udla imali yempesheni wayihlalele ekhaya.
Akafuni.
Ngabe nje uyidlela imali yempesheni wayihlalele ekhaya. Wayiqhaqhazelela le ekhaya kubo. Yabona. Ngaba sinankinga naye, ngaba simazi, ngaba simnaki.
Ukusibona sithule uRATHA. Yasikhulumisa kakhulu. Akafuni ukusibona sithule. And siyazama with everything we have, we're trying. Well, he said because they've never seen you like this and your wife, and then you drive back again 8 hours prior.
He's speaking as if they've already been in that court to testify. And you listen to the video of the fathers of these guys. They are describing the situation.
They were traumatized.
It matches.
Yes, they were traumatized.
I don't understand which bush he lives at.
And he said, just like that, 16 hours, no food, no drink, you don't have to answer. I was just wondering, Well, Muzi asked to answer the question, but the judge dismissed him and said he didn't have to answer. He then said until tomorrow, quickly got up, and that's how court adjourned, which is very funny and odd and weird.
Bekajahile ukuthi laphana kwalokhuzana.
He also failed to listen to the part where Muzi said that the cops ate and did not give him food, and he did not eat, but they ate. But all of a sudden, all of the police officers did not eat. They fasted with him to take him to his home. Oh my God.
Sinjalo story, guys. Siyayivala la. Amen. Because mina kumele ngilale.
Yeah.
Kumele ngidrive, kumele ngilale futhi.
Let's pray for Absalom Zungu, guys.
I'll be testing.
Put him in your prayers.
I'll be testing until late, so I need to rest so that I can be sharp when they ask me to run certain things, certain codes. I must be
sharp. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Someone said something.
What did they say?
I lost the comment. I wanted to... Oh, NGOs are forever applying to be friends of the court. Yeah, I think it's in most of the time. It's during the appeals of Mr. Zuma, right?
Yes.
It's normally constitutional courts, which is where they normally they enjoy a lot of wins there. These so-called NGOs. Yeah, so... But for you to press the like button before we go out, press the like button, 250, 300, why not? Thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate you. Join the membership. I see one member. Unfortunately, it's not showing, just shows one member. Join the membership, guys. It does assist us. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. Subscribe and like the video, comment, and share the video. It's a bye, Hlanjiwe.
Bye.